Even if one person hears one thing we say in one episode and it resonates with them in that moment of like a very difficult moment in life or a decision that they really have to make or like a fear they have to overcome, then that's all, like that's impact for me, like even if it's just one human.
Welcome back to Sage Takes Thyme. I'm Elisa.
And I'm Amira. We're in season 2 and we're very excited to be back. Don't forget to turn on notifications on our channel to catch all the season's episodes, really cool exclusive content, and all our other Womena content as well. Are you excited to be back?
Dude, so fucking happy.
Me too.
I missed your face.
I missed your face. It's so pretty.
I miss sitting on a couch and talking to you and actually being like,
close.
yeah, dude, because we're Zoom friends most of the year. We have to
we
just
don't live in the
exist.
same country. But now we're on the same couch.
We are, but we're on a different couch to last year.
Yes.
And the art director, Monica Abadir, did a great job building this new home for us this year.
It's a new home, but it feels like the same home, but it's a new home.
The Womena-verse.
Beautiful.
It's part of the Womena-verse that we inhabit. I like to think last season was like my home and this season is your home.
Why is that?
Because the colors are more your aesthetic, Amira. Mm-hmm. The colors are like super bright and summery and like electric. You know, you do a lot of electrics. I do a lot of like, in my actual living space, like earthy.
You're very earthy
tones.
today also. You matched the couch. What are we going to be doing differently this season?
Oh, so this season we're going to be doing not that much different, to be honest.
Yeah, same.
We're just vibing.
You can just listen to season 1.
We're going to really switch up. That there's going to be more episodes.
More episodes.
We're going to be probably talking even more authentically and honestly because we have the kind of like fears of the first season.
The nerves.
Out of it. Yeah, the nerves.
I was super nervous last season.
Yeah?
Yeah.
It was different. It was new for us to be able to do that. I think now we just kind of found a rhythm. And also this season, we're bringing in guests.
Yes, there's a chair.
There's
which
a
you may
chair.
or may not see in the frame, but sometimes the chair will be filled with people. And sometimes it will just be a chair.
Yeah.
So last season, I feel like we were setting the groundwork and the foundation for so many things, including who we are, what we are to each other, how we met, why we met, what we do, the work we do, why it's important, how it fits into like all these things that we believe and values and challenges. I feel like I had a lot more to prove. I felt like that I could even have a podcast and speak and that I have things to say. And here are 10 episodes of the reasons why these topics are important, where we stand on them and how that fits into media and storytelling. So there was all these pieces of the puzzle that we were trying to like put together to create a podcast and like the characters, us as hosts within the podcast.
Yeah, so I felt like maybe we had to like justify why this podcast was important to have out in the internet because it's so commonplace. Also, like how many times are you guys hanging out with your friends and you're literally just sitting and thinking,
we should start a podcast.
We should start a podcast. We're so interesting. Oh my God. But within Womena, what we knew was that we have done this before. We have multiple podcasts on the platform, but we never really had one where we talked about the team, ourselves, our thoughts, our community directly. Yeah, we did that for the first season, but now we just kind of want to go beyond. We want to talk about things that now that we have the established baseline. I think that was more for us last season than for you guys, but now we're going to be going more into global movements. We're going to be talking a lot more about like pop culture and content and the types of content that we're consuming and do more book reviews and more TV show reviews and movie like reviews. That I want to introduce Amira to some stuff, and I know she wants to introduce me to some content.
Yes,
some music.
Our tastes are very different, and it's going to be cool to like integrate. Yeah, I think we got a lot of really good feedback from our audience, things people wanted us to talk about more, topics, relevant current affairs that people wanted us to speak on because we had set that foundation. And we also really enjoyed it. So then we were like, of course, we're going to do a season 2.
Yeah. My biggest takeaway was the audience responses. And I have felt such deep gratitude for people who listen and who like have shared with us. I mean, we were at a party last night and there was 3 people that came up and who recognized us from the podcast, but specifically were not like excited that they recognized us from the podcast, but were deeply passionate about what the podcast had been talking about and the fact that we were actually speaking knowledge to truth and maybe presenting things in a way that a lot of people think about, but don't speak about publicly in our community. So that was very like, that was just really profound for me. For those of you who listen and who do see us or Amira and I out and tell us like,
please come tell us.
Yeah, please come tell us. It helps us. It like comforts us to know that we're not in some sort of void in this beautiful space together. But your feedback is incredible. And we do all of this for you. So we want this show to be something that you guys really value and that you guys enjoy coming to hang out with us while we're talking about these subjects. Like you enjoy tuning in and feeling like you're right here in this chair.
Yeah. We also got some, let's say, constructive criticism.
Oh.
Which we will be discussing in an episode.
Beautiful.
Well, at any week, we're calling it like negative comments, but some of it was negative, some of it was constructive. But I think we do get a lot of like good feedback from the audience, but sometimes we get people challenging us or disagreeing with us. And I think we're going to try to address some of that also in another episode of season 2. And it does help. We want to know. We're not pretending to speak on behalf of like all women or all Arab women or all anything. We're really just sharing our own personal experiences and ideas on certain topics. And yeah, I think my main takeaway from last season, it was a really interesting one. I'm going to try to verbalize it. I've been thinking about this a lot. But so I felt like, why would anyone want to listen to us talk, you know? What the fuck? Like if I was so much yapping. And I had all these hesitations, but then the way we filmed season 1 was like we filmed it all in one go, like we're doing with this season. So that was like in May or April of 2024. And then it was rolling out for the rest of the year. So by the time some episodes actually made it online, it was like January of this year or like late December. And what was interesting was there were things that I had said in episodes that I completely forgot what I said, you know, because we've been doing so many other things. And then when they were getting published, I resonated so much with what we were saying, and they were things that I really wanted to hear. I needed to hear in certain moments of like really important life events, and it tripped me out.
Like it was like past Amira was finding present or future Amira.
Yes.
In moments.
Like really important moments.
And saying things directly to you.
Yes. That I would tell a friend in that situation that had to make like a difficult decision or was going through a hard time. And it wasn't a friend telling me, this sounds a bit weird. It's not like in a narcissistic way. Like it was myself speaking on a general idea or things about very personal stuff. And then hearing that back in a moment where I needed to hear those exact words and what I actually think was really, really trippy, to the point that there was like a couple of reels that came out where I messaged you. I'm like, Elisa,
what is happening?
Like no one is gonna believe that this is a coincidence. You know, they were so timely and on point for me. Yes. I don't know about the audience, but for me as also consuming our content after it comes out months later, it was very, very weird. And I was like, okay, so even if one person hears one thing we say in one episode and it resonates with them in that moment of like a very difficult moment in life or a decision that they really have to make or like a fear they have to overcome, then that's all, like that's impact for me. Like even if it's just one human.
But you never expected it to be
that
you.
That human was me, and was so weird.
I was just surprised by some of the things I also felt comfortable enough to talk about and to say. And when I would listen back, when the episode would come out and I'd listen back, I was like, oh man, Elisa, you're going to talk about that. And then I'm like, oh, actually, yeah, that's a good point.
Talk about it.
Yeah, okay, you could talk about it. You know what? You should talk about it more.
Yeah.
You should say more.